Okay, so this is the final project. This is what your project needs to look like. This is called multi-exposure by using the camera. So you're going to have multi of you in a picture. You need to have at least 3 of you. You need to have a tripod, and you need to have someone to help you take the picture. So I took the pictures in the classroom. I will let you go out into the hall or the commons later today or the next class period. There are a couple things that you need to think about before you go away from me, all right? Number 1, you need to make sure that everything will be in focus. So the f-stop really, really matters. You need a higher number f-stop. I used f-stop 9 so that the depth would be in focus. And I had to move the red dot on her for each picture, okay? So this is what you need to do. You have to start with a picture, and then you have to copy and paste the other picture on top. And then you have to figure out where are you going to bring up the picture. So you have to know how to get your layer box open, obviously. So please make sure window layers is open. So let's do this. You're going to take pictures. You're going to obviously make sure that you have the right exposure, and then you're going to download. Make sure you have the directions, which are right there in front of you. All right. So I'm gonna just do the whole process in front. Sometimes people can't get this because you have to critically think, okay, what's on the bottom layer versus what's on the top layer. So I have 3 pictures that I'm going to pull into Photoshop. When I took her picture, I made sure she was not overlapping. She was on the left, then the back, and then on the right. All right? Make sure that when you do this, you're not too close to your picture. See, I could tell this was not going to work. Darn computer. Oh, I know why, because my phone. How many pictures do I have? Tons. All right, so you're just going to copy one picture on top of another, okay? So here are my 1 picture, 2, and 3. So I'm just going to pull these apart like such. So I'm going to minimize 1. So I am going to make sure I'm at the move tool, and I'm just going to move this over, all right? So I need to place this exactly where the chairs and the door line up. So how do I know if it lines up? You have to do something. What would you do? Opacity, yes. So you're going to lower your opacity so that you can line it up. And enlarge it so that it'll just kind of snap in there. And if you're not very good with your mouse, then use the arrow key, okay? There we go. So then you can go back to 100. So on the top layer, I know that she's right there, and I know she was sitting here. So I could do the eyeball, and I say, okay, I need to bring her up from the bottom. So I'm going to the eraser, and I'm going to go where I know she is, and I'm going to then erase, and she will appear. And if I go over her, it won't matter because I used a tripod and everything will be set. All right? Now the chair's a little bit off, but okay. So this is pretty easy, but sometimes kids are not on the top layer. You have to be on the top layer. All right? So then I take the other picture, make sure I'm on the move tool, and copy that over. Lower the opacity and line that up. And then I make that back to 100. But I only see her in this seat. So I need to erase right here, and I need to erase right here. And then I'm done. It's very easy. But I've done this quite a while. So you really have to think about what do you need to bring up? All right, and you need to make sure you're on the top layer.
Does it matter which one we make the background layer?
I don't think it does.
So the tripod will stay in the same place for every picture?
Absolutely. And whoever takes your picture, make sure that they are still at taking the picture. And when I took this picture, I got, you know, the needle in the middle. But when I looked at the picture on the back of the camera, it was dark. So I overexposed this picture because I could tell, and I just got her arm.
What's up with the top of the door?
Yeah, it's off, isn't it? So I'm going to go over and beyond so nobody will know. So for Halloween, you know, you could set the camera in the office, or not the office, in the hallway, and like do a peeking around the corner, and you can kind of make it scary, or I don't know. I mean, you can do it very easy or you can make it creative. So after you're done, I want you to obviously save it two ways. I want you to save it as a Photoshop, and then I want you to save it as a JPEG. So at the bottom of this piece of paper, you're going to name it, in the middle it says last name multi JPEG. So please save it twice. File, save as, so it's going to be your last name, and then multi. I save everything as PSD in case I need to go back. And then you'll save it as a JPEG to turn into the teacher so that I can just print it and hang it up in the hall and show off your work. Okay? Please, please, please. Does anyone have any questions? So really it's about f-stop and not moving the camera and overexpose. So even if the needle's in the middle, you know, I would make it a slower shutter speed because
So-
you're using a tripod. Overexpose a little bit.